Well, there we have it. Formula One in 2019 has come to an end in probably the way it started the season. If you remember all the way back in Australia, Bahrain, China, Azerbaijan, Spain, France, and all that, it was pretty boring, wasn't it? And then probably about since Canada, Austria time, that was when the season really took off. And now we've had some brilliant races since then. But this one, it wasn't really that good of a race, was it? It was probably the worst race that we've had, probably since France, in my opinion. It was just god awful. And of course, Lewis Hamilton wrapping up the championship all the way back in the US of A. So obviously there was nothing really to play for, but of course there was still some other championship positions, that was still up for grabs. But before I jump into anything, I want to take a look at the classifications as of yet. I'll explain why in a little bit of the 2019 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So Lewis Hamilton takes the victory from pole position as well, the first time he's done that since the French Grand Prix back in mid-June. Max Verstappen comes home in P2 and Charles Leclerc is in P3. Now that position is under threat. Valtteri Bottas from the back of the grid all the way up to P4. Sebastian Vettel, a very disappointing season, average race. P5, of course, he'll finish P5 in the championship, his lowest position with Ferrari since he joined in 2015. Alex Albon in P6, Sergio Perez in P7 at the last minute, of course, overtaking Lando Norris, who finishes in P8. Danny Kvyat in P9, and Carlos Sainz grabs the last point again at the last minute to go into P10 and to secure P6 in the World Drivers' Championship. Fabulous job from the smooth operator. The two Renaults come home in P11 and P12. Dan Ricciardo in 11th place. Nico Hulkenberg, his final race for Renault, but is it his final race in Formula 1? He's in P12. Kim Raikkonen's in P13. The two Haas boys of Magnussen and Grosjean come home in P14 and P15. Horrible season for Haas, both on and off the track. Of course, with the Rich Energy deal just going really sour, that caused big headlines during the summer. And of course, the car just hasn't been the same since Bahrain, as Grosjean said. Qualifying, it felt good. The race, it was just awful. And then there was just no recovering. Really, George Russell, his debut season in P17, finishes in here. Pierre Gasly in P18. Robert Kubica in P19, his final race in Formula 1. And Lance Stroll comes home in last place. And of course, he was the only retirement from the race. So really there was drama before the race even begun. Now, Charles Leclerc was already under investigation and was waiting to go to the stewards after the Grand Prix, even before the cars even took to the grid. Now, the statement that was read from the FIA, from one of the race stewards, said the fuel declaration of car number 16 was checked before the car left the pit lane. There was a significant difference between the declaration of the team and the amount of fuel inside the car. Now, what that basically means is that the car is checked before it leaves checked in the garage of the weight of the amount of fuel that's in the car, and of course it's checked just before it leaves to go to the grid, and there was a difference. Of course, Ferrari telling this is what we've got in the car. Then the FIA check the car. They've got a different number, and of course the car can't be over or under 110 kilos of fuel. Of course, if you have less, your car's lighter, therefore you can go faster. But of course, if you've got more, therefore you can run your engine in a higher power mode for longer because you've got more fuel to burn. Of course, the car's heavier, but you've got more fuel than everybody else. So of course, they had a bit of an advantage if that was the case. So obviously, Charles will be going to the stewards. As of yet, there's been no confirmation as to if there's going to be a penalty or not. I really don't know. Probably a time penalty at least, maybe, or something. I think Ferrari might be fined if they are found guilty or whatever. There could have been like a reading error with maybe the scales that Ferrari using or whatever. There could have been all sorts of things, but it doesn't look good for Charles Leclerc. So let's see what happens before that. And of course, we'll probably keep you up to date on Twitter at F1_day16. If you haven't given us a follow, of course you might see it before we post it anyway. So of course, the race got underway and it was pretty much just a bog standard start. Of course, there was that drama at the start between the two racing points and Pierre Gasly. Lance Stroll coming in the side of Pierre Gasly. He did a bit of a spin. His front wing hit the side of the racing point of Sergio Perez, causing front wing damage for Pierre Gasly. He went into the pits, changed his front wing, And that was pretty much it from Pierre Gasly. There was a bit of a struggle to get the nose off the car. New nose cone went back on and off he went. And then there was big drama after not long afterwards. DRS wasn't working. Oh dear. A lot of us have been asking for DRS to be scrapped from Formula One for a long time, really, since it first came in 2011. And today they got the wish. Well, for about 18 laps anyway. It went off about, I think, lap 4. There was a message came up saying there's a glitch in the system somewhere with the DRS activation system, which of course means it couldn't be worked. And by lap 18, they rectified it, fixed it, and of course DRS was back working. A lot of fans were saying that they did prefer it without DRS. It was okay. I mean, to be fair, the race I thought it didn't make any difference. If I'm totally honest, I mean, alright, Bottas was still going through the grid, and of course there were some overtakes, which was brilliant. But the race itself was just like, with DRS or without DRS, it just wasn't any different. So, really, is it worth having it? In my opinion, I think we should just scrap DRS altogether, because I think I would like to see more pure overtaking rather than artificial. But it does add a bit of spice to it, I suppose. But anyways, I'm not going to go into that. And of course, it had a bit of a battle between the two up-and-coming champions of Formula One, Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen. Verstappen overtaking Leclerc in brilliant style. Leclerc tried to come back onto him, made a bit of a contact, a bit of a kiss on the side, and of course, that was it. Oh, and of course, as well, at the start, I forgot to mention, you had the battle between, well, the two McLarens and Alexander Albon. Red Bull didn't seem to get that good of a start at the beginning. They didn't really seem to click. They couldn't get the tyres working, which was a bit strange. But then again, I think that's been a common theme for Red Bull throughout the course of this season. And of course, McLaren having a good battle with them, but then they kind of backed off. They had their own battle with Renault, which was superb. Really good way to end the season. Some of it was caught on TV. Some of it wasn't. That was pretty much it, wasn't it? The story of McLaren's season, and of course Carlos Sainz, he's never really on TV as such. And like pretty much all races this season, the Ferrari pace was just nowhere. I mean, the car looked quick in some areas, but really the race pace was just really terrible. And of course Lewis Hamilton just ran away with it. I think this is 84th win in Formula One. So obviously really good achievement from him, and of course claimed his 88th pole position yesterday, and of course he rounds off a championship winning season with a win. Abu Dhabi really needs to be considered to be to stay on the calendar, because it was again not another good of a Grand Prix. I mean, like I said in the preview, I think 2012 was a really good race. Some people were actually saying 2018 was a good race. For some reason, I can't really remember 2018 as much. But a lot of people were saying that race was pretty good. But this one is a one to forget, in my opinion. But, of course, like I said, it does mean that Formula One does come to an end. Race rating before I go. Race rating, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Driver of the day. I know Hülkenberg won it because it's his last race in Formula One for now. I'm going to give it to... I don't want to give it a Bottas. I'll give it to Sainz. I mean, Sainz did okay. I mean, nobody really, did anything great apart from, I know Bottas went from P20 to P4, but that's what you expect. I'll just give it to Carlos Sainz anyway. Carlos Sainz can have it. And of course, my boys finishing in 4th place. Carlos Sainz finishing in P6. Very well done from them. And of course, this is where I'm going to wrap up this review, my apologies. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, thank you so much for watching our reviews all across this season. They have been really popular. A lot of you guys have been getting involved with what we were saying, agreeing with what we were saying, and of course disagreeing with anything we had to say. We do love a very divided opinion, of course, here on the F1 Debate Show. It's been an absolute blast talking to you guys, following you guys through the entirety of the Formula One 2019 season. 3 months away before we come back again in Australia 2020. A lot of things hopefully will be changing on our channel for next season. Some new content, some same content, and of course, like I said, we've got a new logo, new banner, new graphics as well for next season. So can't wait for you guys to see them. Of course, keep up to date on our Twitter page for anything new coming next season. In terms of the festive period, for content from now till Christmas and then into the new year, we've got our prediction reaction coming up that we made all the way back in January with Alex Afro. Of course, he's not going to be in the reaction video, but me and Lyle will be reacting to our predictions that we made back in January. We've got our school full term report. I think we made a half term report back in August. We're going to be making like a new full term like a review thing, talking about the whole season all together. And of course, our award show. We've got Driver of the Year, Race of the Year, Overtake of the Year, and all this as well. 10 categories to go through. That'll be coming up at Christmas time, Christmas Eve, I think. And then of course we've got the F1 YouTubers Decoded, the finale for this year. Alex Afro will be on your screens with us, with me and Lyle. On Christmas Day, can't wait for that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Our, like I said, our reviews is everything as well. This is where I'll wrap up this video as well. So thank you so much for watching, and until next season for the reviews, I'll see you then.